From Fox 19 Now, this is the Bengals post-draft special.
Welcome to the big set. He is Jeremy Rao. I am Joe Daneman. We carved out 30 minutes of TV time just for the Bengals draft. In this show, you'll see our conversations with the top 3 draft picks and Zach Taylor's take on 6 new Bengals. This is the Fox 19 Now Draft special on the Bengals flagship station.
We all know the questions. What's got to happen so the Bengals can get back to the playoffs and get back to competing for a championship? They just showed, I think, all of us their plan for that basically in the draft. It is a big part of the conversation in tonight's show. So here we go. They are just names on a screen right now, but we are about to dig into the personality and production of the Bengals' newest draft class, from Shamar Stewart in the first round to the offensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and that 6th round running back. We are one-on-one with the Bengals' new stars, but let's kick off the conversation with someone who spent months and countless hours watching film to help the Bengals make these picks, and it starts with why they love their first round pick.
What you love about him is what everybody sees, just his body type, his dimensions, obviously the testing that he had at the combine, but also that shows up on the tape. He plays with a violent and aggressive temperament, obviously really fast, really explosive, makes a ton of plays in the run and pass game, and he's really disruptive. Yeah, the production, that was a big discussion point for us as well. We're not blind to that by any means, but we think we have a really good coaching staff that is eager to work with him, and they have a plan in place to develop Shamar and get the best out of him. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen.
In drafting 2 linebackers, how important was it for this team, for this defense, to upgrade at that position and to make sure that you guys can be more attacking in a lot of ways on defense?
Yeah, it was really important. That was a position that we went into the draft with plans to upgrade at that spot. Al Golden obviously has a significant linebacker background. He was really dialed in on those guys. He was a great part of our process. We had some phenomenal discussions throughout our draft meetings and throughout the draft weekend as well. So I'm really happy about those 2 linebackers that we drafted. I think they're going to be impact guys for us.
You drafted a running back in the 6th round in Taj Brooks. What did you like about him and what he can bring to this team?
Well, the first thing that stands out is his production. I mean, over 1,500 yards each of the past 2 seasons. They're in the shotgun a ton like we are in our offense. They're at Texas Tech. He was running out of the gun, really productive, but he also catches the ball well and has really good passing game value, both as a pass protector and as a receiver out of the backfield. So a really versatile guy. We thought it was a really deep running back draft class, so we felt pretty fortunate that he was still there on the board in the 6th round.
Last thing I'll ask you is, there's a lot on you personally and your team and making sure you scout to bring in winning players. Do you feel that pressure when a team like this is, in a lot of ways, it feels like built to win a championship?
There's a lot of pressure on every role, every job in this organization, and everybody's on the same page. I think everybody did a great job throughout this process and added talent to the roster, and we're going to continue to look for more talent leading all the way up to week 1 and throughout the season as well. So the job is not over. This is just kind of a touch point in the process, but we're going to continue to look to add more talent to the Bengals roster.
He said it, the job's not over. We did talk about this, by the way. The Bengals tried to trade down a couple of different ways in the draft to get a couple more picks. They wanted to get a defensive tackle and a safety. That didn't happen, so as they look for help now going forward, think DT, think safety, because the Bengals are as well going forward still.
It's like Kobe Bryant. Job's not finished.
There you go.
Job's not finished until the Bengals are at training camp, still adding bodies all the way up to the start of the season. Now, we all knew they need help on defensive end on the edge. Trey Hendrickson, what's his future in Cincinnati after this year? We don't know that answer. What we do know is what we experienced with Shamar Stewart when he visited on his first day here in Cincinnati. This guy has a presence about him. When he walked in the room, you felt it. Here is our conversation with Bengals first-round draft pick, Shamar Stewart. You said you walked inside the Bengals locker room on day 1 and you ran into who?
A guy named Joe.
A guy named Joe. What was that moment like?
He was like, "Hi, my name is Joe."
You're like,
sure,
I
dude.
know.
I've never seen you before. Where you're from?
Was that a bit surreal to walk into a locker room and see one of the biggest stars in the NFL for the first time?
It's crazy. Like, he's like, you see him on TV and then you see him in person. It's like, wow, I actually just shook his hand. It's crazy.
But that's got to be cool because, as I asked you in the press conference, you don't know where you're going to end up on draft night. You're dropped right into Cincinnati, a team that's ready to go back to the playoffs, compete for Super Bowls. Do you feel lucky that you've been given this opportunity to start your career in Cincinnati?
Yeah, I feel extremely lucky. I'm just blessed to be here.
Okay, tell me about your game. Okay, you don't get picked number 17 overall unless you have some serious game. What do you think you do best on a football field?
I just disrupt plays, man. That's what I do. I beat the guy in front of me and then just create negative plays.
What do you think the biggest misconception about you is?
I can't rush the quarterback. I led my college team in with pressures for 2 back-to-back years.
Does it bother you when people say that?
No, it used to. I just laugh at it because it'd be like internet coaches. So it'd just be hilarious to me. So I just let them rock out.
Do sacks matter as much as people say they do?
I'm not going to say sacks don't matter because sacks are a game-changing stat, but I feel like pressures, just overall, like things that you don't see on a stat sheet could be just as important as sacks.
Disruption.
Yeah.
That's important for a football player. That's important for this football team too. How important is it to you to come here to Cincinnati and be a disruptor on day one and contribute right away to this team?
Oh, it would be very important for me because I feel like one of my goals is get that Defensive Rookie of the Year. So I'll come in and contribute early. Just, taking baby steps to my goal.
You mentioned it, want to be Rookie of the Year. Is Hall of Fame, winning championships, is that all the boxes you want to check in your career?
Of course. I mean, who doesn't want to do all those things? Win Super Bowl. Man, I think I'll break out in tears and win a Super Bowl because I've never been a winner in my life.
You come to Cincinnati now, 17th overall pick. Is there pressure on you?
I don't think so. I feel like I just got to come in and work. I feel like I know what I could do. I feel like I'm confident in my abilities. If I wasn't, then I'll probably be nervous, but I'm completely confident I know what I could do.
Can you be a difference maker as a rookie?
We're going to see. Hopefully I get that opportunity to be that. But as of now, I'm just going to work until I get to that point.
The end game is simple. The Bengals need more sacks. We can get nerdy, talk about pressures and win rates, and those matter, but the Bengals finished bottom 10 in the league in quarterback sacks, and it's hard to win games without quarterback sacks. Trey Hendrickson is elite, like Top Gun, the best of the best. But Zach Taylor's like, we'll make you better. Viper. Joseph Osai is on the come up. Nice year last year. Miles Murphy is under pressure. Shamar Stewart is here to help the Bengals where they need it most defensively.
On the highway to the danger zone, baby. He is related to a couple of music legends with 25 Grammys combined. He door-dashed to support his family and could be the answer at linebacker one-on-one with a second-round pick next.
From FOX19 Now, this is the Bengals post-draft special.
Hey, welcome back, Jeremy Joe. I think he is one of the greatest stories of the entire NFL draft. Again, the music history and the Grammys and his family, unbelievable.
There are times when I finish up a workday with him when I wonder, why is there a song stuck in my head? I know why Aretha Franklin is stuck in my head tonight.
Yeah.
Do I give it away here or does Gabby talk to him about it?
Gabby will talk about it.
Okay, Gabby Sorrentino now with Bengals draft pick Demetrius Knight Jr.
This is the Bengals' second-round draft pick, South Carolina linebacker Demetrius Knight Jr. He has quite the story, from door dashing to make ends meet to now getting ready to play in the NFL. The 24-year-old is ready to prove himself at the next level.
Just thinking about my wife and my kids and how, not how we all struggled, but how at previous schools and situations weren't the best for us, and knowing how we were, my wife and I were having our first child in the back of our car while we're trying to do DoorDash orders, and she's in the back trying to get her milk, and I'm trying to running the restaurants and get the food and drop it off at someone's door and try to make a little extra money just for us to survive. And that was our life for a year, just trying to make ends meet, and then also trying to play football at the end of it. So it was extremely rough. So those moments quickly flooded into my mind that that's not what we're gonna have to do anymore, and that I get to truly focus on football and focus on them. So we'll be and we are in a great spot.
So you go from door dashing, trying to make ends meet, to now we're sitting here in an NFL locker room. There's an empty locker right there next to Logan Wilson that could have your name on it.
Correct.
Has it sunk in yet?
It started to sink in once I saw my jersey, and it'll continue to sink in as I go throughout the rest of the day and meet with everyone. But after I leave here tomorrow morning, I'm gonna want to be right back here, just because I'm so excited and so ready to get into the stadium and see the fans and feel the love that I've already been getting from them all day, and just be around the guys and truly be around a winning culture.
You described your style of play as nasty.
Right.
Why is that the word that comes to mind when you think of how you play on the football field?
Just because I like to, when I go on the football field, I like to hunt. It's ironic because I'm a Bengal now, and Bengal Tigers have to hunt. So I know if I don't hunt, then my family doesn't eat. So I'm going out there with bad intentions when anybody's carrying the ball and I'm coming up on them. I'm trying to get the ball back, and there's nothing better in my mind right now than getting Joe Burrow the ball back as many times as possible. So I was able to do it in college, and I'm darn sure going to be able to do it here and get him and the offense the ball back.
So switching from quarterback to linebacker, what was that like for you, and how have you kind of used it as an advantage on the football field?
Right. That was another point of emphasis where I felt that I could have an impact and also be able to use my quarterback knowledge as a true key to help me get in the head of other quarterbacks that I played against.
3 of your cousins who are incredibly well known, so let's start with Aretha Franklin and Gladys Knight.
Right.
Tell me about that. That's amazing, having those 2 names in your family.
I would say there's a lot of soul music that is at every household back in Georgia. So we do sing a lot. I have kind of gotten away from the singing just because I've been trying to major in football and have been able to do that as of recently. But the singing, my dad and my sister do. So don't ask for any personal solos. I probably will not be singing Star Spangled Banner anytime soon, hopefully.
If I learned one thing from that interview with Demetrius, he's a great football player, but he's an even better human, and he's going to be a star on Bengals Now next season. We'll need to get the karaoke machine out because I think he was being a little shy about how well he can sing. Joe, Jeremy, back to you guys.
Cannot wait. Cannot wait. It felt like Joe Burrow had to be Superman one too many times last season. The Bengals drafted a player who they believe can help fix that problem. A conversation with the solution next.
From Fox 19 Now, this is the Bengals post-draft special.
So I think back to the so many conversations we had leading up to the NFL draft with guys like James Rapine, Charlie Goldsmith, and the question was, when would the Bengals draft an offensive guard? That felt like the one hole on offense before they could snap their fingers with the full infinity stone of a full offense. The Bengals addressed it on day 2.
Mike Potts told me they knew they were going into this focusing on protecting the franchise. They did just that. Here is Reagan Holgate with more.
He's expected to come in and compete right away. The left guard job is his to win, but Dylan Fairchild has already won over offensive line coach Scott Peters. The two locked into battle, ready to win the war when it comes to protecting number 9. Here's more with the Bengals' newest weapon in the trenches.
Like, why am I smiling?
I know why you're smiling. But the biggest reason behind just the happiness, to obviously get drafted, now be playing in the NFL, and to now be here as a Bengal.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just a perfect match. It starts off just being back with Mims, being around some of these great guys in this locker room. And then, you know, to the coaches, like me and Coach Peters, we connected throughout this process. So I'm just super happy to be around these guys, these coaches, and these great men in this franchise. To be picked by it has been a huge blessing. You
just mentioned Scott Peters, and when you were talking about his pro day visit with you and the workout that you guys did, it kind of seemed like it was this love match in a way, a match made in heaven. Can you walk us through that moment and specifically that workout that you guys went through that day? Yeah, I mean, I just remember we were talking about just some technical things in football, and then he made basically a wrestling analogy, and it clicked with me. And then, you know, I ended up walking out of that meeting and called my agent and was like, man, I love this dude, you know. And obviously at the time I didn't, you know, you don't really get to pick, they pick you. So, you know, after I got picked, it was just awesome. And specifically with your wrestling background, 67-0, undefeated as a champion in high school. How do you think that has helped you / formed you into the football player that you are now today? I think first the mentality of it, just the mentality of being a wrestler is different. You know, I mean, you just have a resilient aggression and resilient attack on everything that you do, and there's just no quit in your body. And then physically, you know, you can get into awkward positions and be able to recover, you know, be comfortable in a position where some people might not be comfortable in. Describe your style of play, the don't quit mentality. Yeah, I mean, just an aggressive, resilient person that's going to continuously attack through all 4 quarters and every single drive of the game. You are now reunited with one of your former teammates, Amarius Mims. You said that he was one of your first phone calls. Walk us back through that moment and what that conversation was like. Yeah, he just screamed pickle. And yeah, that was a big part of the conversation. There was so much noise going on. You know, I told him I'm gonna see him soon. He's reunited with his pickle. I think we're all still a little bit confused by the nickname. Do you have pickle? Any context? Oh, okay. I mean, I guess that's really like the biggest. I think that's what it is, but this is groundbreaking information. You know, okay, this makes more sense now. Yeah. I think, you know, I could be wrong. I don't know. He could have a whole nother reason for it, but. Are you a dill pickle guy, or are we going like bread and butter? No, I actually don't like pickles. Okay. I mean, that works too. Maybe he doesn't even like the nickname. Oh, I love the nickname. Okay. I love the nickname. Do we think it's going to stick here in Cincinnati? I hope so. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. What's up, Who Dey Nation? It's Dylan Fairchild here checking in with y'all. Super excited to get to work and protect the Magic Man in the back. Who Dey? Again, we talk about the character of this year's draft class, and Fairchild fits the mold perfectly. Maybe your stereotypical teddy bear type off the field, but an absolute beast when the helmet comes on. Someone who will live and die every day by keeping Joe Burrow on his feet. Guys, back to you.
I'm a teddy bear off the field. This is Joe Burrow's current protection plan, and just so you know, the bodyguard is mandatory viewing for each lineman. Whitney Houston belting "I Will Always Love You" is the kind of passion you got to have to protect Joe Burrow. Demetrius Knight can sing it for us. Oh, yes. Dylan Fairchild has been told that left guard is his job to win. Right guard is the only real question mark left. Cody Ford, Lucas Patrick, Cordell Volson, you would think all in the mix right now.
Here is Amarius Mims, first-round pick, now anchored on the Bengals offensive line. Mims is a first-rounder. The Bengals drafted Chase Brown in the 5th. Good teams find great players in any round. Or you can just draft #1 overall and get a guy like Joe Burrow. Zach Taylor rounds out our draft coverage next on the flagship.
From Fox 19 Now, this is the Bengals post-draft special.
We talked about this a lot, that last year when the Bengals season was unraveling early, that it didn't feel right on the field. It also didn't feel right in the locker room. There'd be a lot of youth on a team, we get that, but it feels like the Bengals really zeroed in on a certain type of player to help with the energy in the building.
Maturity comes to mind. The young players are maturing, but when you draft a 25-year-old linebacker, he's obviously matured already. A lot of those kind of character guys, and I think Zach loves this class.
I think this is a group with great hunger and urgency to be great as a unit. So as a unit, as a position group, and as an individual, I think now you look across the board at every single person that's on that board in there, and they all fit those same characteristics, same description, and that is really it's got me fired up.
And we are fired up for Bengals rookie minicamp on deck next. A lot of fun coming up.
Bengals draft special is in the books. For Jeremy, Gabby, Reagan, I'm Joe. Good night.
From Fox 19 Now, this has been the Bengals post-draft special.